This again gonna be about sleep, and hopefully, I don't know yet, this is before the episode, gonna be a fun time. Yeah. Hello and welcome back to the next episode of the Self-Development with Tactics podcast. And I hope you're doing good. I hope you had a very, very great day or night, whatever it is. And yeah, as you can see in the background right now, for all the video watchers, we are again going ahead with Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. On the ellenchang.com website, as usually, which is an incredible book still, and I very, very like it, and it is, I think, very informative, even though I do have to say the first few things we've gone through were quite scientific, which is not necessarily something bad, but, I do not understand half of the shit, so, yeah. And I still actually know where we have stopped. And we have stopped with chapter 5, actually. And chapter 5 actually is changes in life across the lifespan. Babies. Fetuses spend almost all of its time in sleep-like state. It doesn't yet have the muscle atonia causing center developed, explaining its kicks and punches. REM sleep ramps up in the last 2 weeks of pregnancy, up to 12 hours a day. This simulates synaptogenesis in rats. Disturbing REM sleep stores contraction of the cerebral cortex. What the fuck? My god. Does this mean that if you, for example, maybe, so they've just only tested it with rats, but does it then mean that if you're disturbing your baby while they have their REM sleep, does it actually stops the construction of the brain? Quite, because the cerebral cortex is definitely a part of the brain, or a part of the cortex, and the cortex itself is either the brain or a part of the brain. I do not know yet. Would be fucking fucked. Definitely. Alcohol impedes REM sleep in fetuses and babies, causing abnormal synaptogenesis. Once disrupted, it may never fully regain normal function. Newborns of alcoholic mothers spend far less time in REM sleep. 2 drinks reduce REM sleep and breathing rate in unborn infants. When babies drink milk containing alcohol, their REM sleep reduces by 30%. 30%. That's enormous, isn't it? Where did I stop? Because REM sleep is involved in emotional recognition and social interaction, disrupting REM sleep in utero might contribute to autism spectrum. Autistic people show 30 to 50% less REM sleep than normal. Rats deprived of REM sleep develop into socially withdrawn adults. Very, very interesting, and there you can totally see that, our body and our overall, the human species is so incredibly complex. It's not something like, I'm doing this and then this happens and whatsoever, but there are so many abnormalities. I guess you know what I mean. And so many other things that could change with a lot of factors. And we can totally see, even though sleep has quite always been, and I think everybody thought like sleep was something important and something very important. But now this is completely another thing, if you just really understand, sleep might be just, the factor or the reason for a lot of things, whether it be illnesses or diseases or whether it be just, your overall health. Very, very interesting. Childhood. While starting with very irregular sleep, babies eventually show more regular sleep patterns starting at 4 months as the suprachiasmatic nucleus and circadian rhythm develop. With age, total time sleeping decreases and the fraction of REM sleep decreases. Now that with age, total time sleeping decreases, and so therefore also the fraction of REM sleep decreases. Is this maybe a kind of an explanation for why older people are often quite so like harsh and unemotional and bad to other people? Because they're not getting the emotional kind of reproduction, I want to call it right now, in the REM sleep, because they do not have as much REM sleep as younger people, or at least people in the mid 30s or whatsoever. Could this be an explanation? I don't know. Now that the synaptogenesis of REM finishes, NREM plays a larger role in brain refinement, pruning the associates that are most valuable, unique to that child's life. Consider NREM to actually affect cognitive development. Changes in deep NREM sleep. I think NREM actually stands for no REM. But I don't know. I think read something yesterday before I went to bed actually, because I looked something up because I was interested in it, but I do not recall what it actually was. Nevertheless, or never mind actually. So consider NREM to actually affect cognitive development. Changes in deep NREM sleep precede cognitive milestones, and the last maturations is the frontal lobe dealing with rationality. Caffeine exposure here could reduce NREM sleep, delaying brain maturation and learning. So caffeine exposure here could reduce NREM. It is always very, very very important to really just watch the words you're using, I guess, especially in such a context where it's about your health and your body and you feeling maybe better or worse, because people may just do what you're saying, If you're now a PhD or not or whatsoever, people just like to Google things. And this is one of the problems I see, that then people just do things that just got somehow explained or just somehow advised by some people who do not have any clue or any opinion or, whatsoever. So it could reduce. Very important, it could. In puberty, teens develop a later biological clock than adults, preferring to stay up later and wake later. This is not willful disobedience. Asking them to sleep at 10 p.m. is like asking adults to sleep at 7 p.m. Matthew Walker theorizes this evolutionary helpful for teens to gain independence from their parents and for teens to do so collectively. In the timing of school, teens are punished for early mornings. And I, by the way, like early mornings. But am I still a teen? In my country, I'm now an adult because I'm 18 years old. I know in the States it would be 21 years old. And I think in the UK as well. But I don't know. I could possibly do anything that I want right now. With 18. In Austria. I could. In the timing, okay, I've read that. Adulthood and age. Sleep quality starts deteriorating in the late 20s, with deep NREM sleep becoming impaired in length and power. In late 40s, you'll have lost 70% of deep sleep as a teenager. By 70, you'll have lost 90% of deep sleep. This can worsen ability to cement new memories in older people. Seniors sleep less, have less efficient sleep, and want to sleep earlier. This is caused by degeneration of the mid-frontal cortex that generates sleep, circadian rhythm shifting to earlier times again, weakened bladers causing night interruptions, lower sleep efficiency. People in the 70s have 80% sleep efficiency, meaning staying awake in bed for 1.5 hours when trying to sleep 8. I see. So if you just take the 8 hours of sleep as 100%, then 1.5 hours would or seem to be 80% of the whole thing, which means that you then only sleep quite 6.5 hours of the whole 8 that you wanted to do, because the other 1.5 hours, as they explain, is where you're quite awake and trying to sleep quite. So this is at least what I'm kind of just, getting out of this. Exacerbating this our inability to determine our sleep quality after sleeping, which we chalk up to insomnia or other issue. Early evening dozing off, which reduces the adenosine sleep pressure at night, preventing later sleep. Then the early circadian rhythm wakes them up before they can get a full night's rest. Melatonin helps strengthen the desire to sleep, and it is a myth that seniors need less sleep. That they don't sleep much could be due to the inability to generate sleep. They could benefit from increased sleep. I'll see, because it was actually the case, or it is actually the case, that I often read, when you're pretty young, or, the older you get, the less sleep you need. This is something that I've quite often read, actually, and I do not know, as they explain it, it's completely wrong, because I do quite understand this, because, as a senior, and if you're just really, really old, it seems to me like, you actually need more sleep, because you're so old, everything is so just stressful, and, your body doesn't work as it should or could be working, or, actually not, because, all the other people, all the older people or elder people, and the body isn't working that great at the time. So, I don't know. Well, for me it just seems logical that, or just common sense, that older people may need just more sleep than teenagers. But they cannot, as we know by now. The part 2, why should you sleep? The next part in this book summary of why we sleep covers the various benefits to sleep and the painful disabilities you get in sleep deprivation. Chapter 6, the benefits of sleep for the brain. Sleep provides improvements in long-term factual recall, which I think just means, you have a better memory. The hippocampus stores short-term memory, the cortex stores long-term memory. NREM sleep moves facts from the hippocampus to the cortex. Not only does this secure memory for long-term, but it also clears out short-term memory to make room for new information. I have to take a few breaths here. I don't know what's going on. Sometimes you may recall facts that you previously couldn't before sleep. Corrupted memories may become accessible again. Conversely, sleep deprivation can prevent new memories from being formed, possibly because the hippocampus becomes less functional, partially because lack of NREM sleep prevents solidifying of new memories. Making up sleep later doesn't help recover previous days' memory. If you lost it, you have lost it. Makes sense. If you just, fuck your HDD or your hard drive, then it is gone. And I guess it's the same exact thing with our brain. If it is gone, it's quite gone, even though the brain is very, 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 very fucking powerful. And I do not know. I think there are so many things that we do not know about the brain yet, which might be very interesting to see in the future. And this is also one of the factors and one of the reasons why I'm so incredibly looking forward to the future. Because then we might know, sleep does this with us, or this doesn't sleep with us. Or, there's so many things we haven't just understood yet, if it's in the animal world or if it's in the human world. And it would just be incredible to see new things to just be explored, just in the course of my life, actually. Something I'm very, very interested in, and something that I'm very, very looking forward to. Prunes memories worth forgetting. Sleep doesn't preserve all memories equally strong. Somehow the brain knows which memories to preserve and which to discard. Shown in experiments with instructions on which graphics to remember and which to forget. Increase muscle memory or motor task proficiency. You might struggle with a motor task playing a tough sequence on piano, but after sleep, play it flawlessly, deals with motor cortex. Reduced sleep decreases aerobic capacity, time to exhaustion. Well, you know what? You know fucking what? So the reduced sleep decreases the aerobic capacity, the time to exhaustion and recovery. Well, decreases the time. Well, it should increase the time for the recovery and increase, or does it decrease? No, I think this is a mistake. And increase the risk of injury lacking acid generation. You know fucking what? I haven't been sleeping for that much the last few weeks, I guess, which is incredible nice for me nowadays, or just in this week, and quite for 10 days actually, because I do have holiday, so I don't have to go to school, which is totally great because I can sleep. And this is one of the only reasons why, well, and it's just a little bit, not that stressful. I can sit at home, I can do whatever I want, I can just, make my videos, I can put out 2 videos a day, I can do so much more, and yeah, less stress and all these great things. But one of the best thing is that I actually can sleep. Because all the other days before I wasn't quite able to, or I didn't prefer it. It's always in terms of, what your preference or what you don't preference. And I didn't prefer sleep. Definitely not a preference actually doing the videos, doing the posts, and doing whatever. So that I kind of just get to the goal or get to the thing or get to the exact same stage as I want to get. And the problem there was that I just really was exhausted, after 3 steps on a just fucking staircase. I just went up 3 steps in a staircase and I was so fucking exhausted. I'm just overdoing it a little bit, but I just noticed that there's something going on with my body that I didn't like. It was also, I always thought it was in terms of my breathing. If my breathing wasn't okay and if there's something wrong with my lungs or something because I wasn't sleeping. But I now know, okay, it's in terms of exhaustion, so that the body actually doesn't or isn't quite capable of doing what it normally is capable of doing when you do not have enough sleep, or when you didn't get enough sleep. Yeah, so studies are cited showing a 20% improvement in memory tasks. I didn't bother to look up the original studies. So studies are cited, it's CITED, I hope it's cited, showing a 20% improvement in memory tasks. And these benefits occur in NREM sleep, which is concentrated in the beginning of sleep. However, motor memory is associated with stage 2 NREM, which is concentrated in the last cycle of sleep. So motor memory. Sleep spindles are associated with better memory effects with sleep. Imagine the therapies perturbations possible to natural sleep. Selectively control facts from the day to remember, good for test studying, happiness or psychiatric illnesses, but also possible to have distorted memory of life. Experimentally done by pairing certain images with different sounds, then playing those sounds during sleep to reinforce the associated images. This is very, very interesting for me, that you actually just, have something from the real world. I'm gonna tell it right now. So something that's quite like, the real world. And how should I say that? So you get, as they say, an image from the real world and a sound compared to that. So your brain knows, okay, there is a connection between the sound and the picture. The thing then is, which is, if you just are thinking about this is quite like a program, isn't it? You're saying if, so you just give them a variable, like, okay, the sound equals this image. And then if you just hear the sound in your sleep, which means then, okay, if you hear this sound, you will remember this image, or this image is meant, or something, then it just makes sense that you will just think, unconsciously definitely, about the image. But yeah. Delete traumatic memories, PTSD, or bad habits, substance abuse. Augmented natural abilities of sleep, e.g. with electrode stimulation of brain, pulsing sound in sync with brain waves, or rocking bed rhythmically. And then chapter 7, actually pretty fast today, which is something I enjoy. We go through chapter 7 because it's actually working. We actually can go through that. Chapter 7. Too extreme for the Guinness Book of World Records, sleep deprivation and the brain. You don't want to tell me, okay, there was actually someone, it was a man. If it was someone, it was definitely not a woman, it was a man. I just nearly bet on that. I hope nobody did this. I really hope nobody did actually try to make a Guinness World Record for actually having the less amount of sleep, or the least amount of sleep. So sleep deficiencies are very bad for attention and concentration. So sleep deficits. When driving, especially, I do think, and I do guess that this is actually a fact, that the most accidents or car accidents actually happen because people are tired. Which is then something you just have to think about and be like, why? But so the major issue is not just slower response times, it's total lapses in attention when a microsleep makes you unconscious for a few seconds at a time, possibly losing all motor control. Yes. Chronic sleep deficits are as damaging to attention as all-nighters. 6 nights of 4 hours sleep are equal to 1 all-nighter. Wow. 10 nights of 6 hours sleep are equal to the same. Performance progressively worsens with greater sleep deficit. I don't really know. It is very hard for me and very difficult for me to be like, okay, I'm gonna sleep every day for 7 hours. 7 hours is totally fine. I think 7 hours would be something that I could be just really focusing on. Somehow. I could somehow manage, I guess. If I really wanted, I could somehow manage actually to really go to bed during the week that I actually get 7 hours of sleep. The problem that I'm having is that, if they say, okay, if you're getting less than 7 hours of sleep, that you totally feel these these performance lows and these performance deficits and whatsoever. What then about the people who actually do just want to work and do just want to do the thing because it makes them happy, and because of that they just really get not enough sleep, quote unquote enough sleep, as they say at least? Is this then bad, or should you do something against it? Should you try still to get the 7 hours if you do just feel like very, very good because you're doing what you're loving, what you're passionate about? I don't know. It is very difficult for me. Very, very difficult. So driving after having slept less than 4 hours. Well, I was just called. Was I just called? No. Was I? I don't know. Okay, never mind. Take a deep big breath. So actually, was I cold right now? I don't fucking know. So actually, I have been up for 19 hours before because when I get up at 5:20 or something, it would only take me. Yeah, it will only take me to quite midnight. Yes, seems to be. Is this true? Does this make sense? I guess so. No, it doesn't. 5 hours, then it's 10, then 15, then it's 10 o'clock, then it's 2 hours. 17. Yeah, no, 2 o'clock in the morning, isn't it? Yeah. Nevertheless, I've done that. And I do not know. I can definitely just really control my emotions. I haven't been drunk that often. I think only once or something. Do not like drunk people, and I don't like to be drunk myself somehow. So I don't know. I do think that I emotionally, or that I can control my emotions way better than when I'm drunk. And also the concentration and motor skills and whatsoever. Sleep deficits and alcohol have a multiplicative effect on mistakes, not just an additive one. Insidiously, we underestimate poor performance during sleep deprivation. This lower state becomes a new baseline. Power naps are most effective at the onset of fatigue, not at the end of sleep deprivation. Less than 1% of the population is able to survive on 6 hours of sleep and show minimal impairment. Released to the BHLHE41 gene. Emotion. Yeah. Should be okay. Oh, gonna. Sneezing. Ooh. Nearly. Ooh. Emotion. We know that a baby doesn't get its nap time, tends to get cranky. Adults are the same way. In sleep deprivation, the prefrontal cortex control of the amygdala, responsible for fear, anxiety, and etc., weakens, leading to 60% more emotional liability. The highs can be higher and the lows lower. Sleep disruption is common in all mood disorders. The causation is unclear, but Matthew Walker believes sleep plays at least some aggravative role. One light of sleep deprivation can trigger a manic or depressive episode in bipolar patients. Okay. Sleep deprivation might also be involved in suicidal ideation in teenagers. Something I don't believe in this. Because if you're really suicidal, there's not only the sleep. You can also be involved in I don't know. I still don't know. I think if you're really suicidal, you're just doing it also because if you are just really getting 12 hours of sleep. Surprisingly, sleep deprivation makes 1/3 of depression patients feel better, possibly by amplifying the positive emotions. However, it makes 2/3 feel worse. So isn't best described, though. It would be interesting to pre-classify the groups. On the other side of the spectrum, positive rewards and dopamine may be amplified too. Sleep deprivation can intensify sensation seeking, risk-taking, and addiction. Something that I quite often see when I'm quite sleep deprived is that I'm very, 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 very quite not happy. Happy as well, but I'm just laughing about quite everything. No matter what happens, I seem so fucking... Actually, there is quite an insider in my school because they know that I'm just, being up so late because I'm doing my shit. They always say when I'm coming into school that I'm drunk. Because, I seem to be different, than when I have, enough sleep. But yeah. Alzheimer's, while no definitive causal link has been shown. Can you see this? Has been shown yet. Sleep losses seem to contribute to Alzheimer's through a few mechanisms. Frontal lobe degeneration through amyloid plaques disrupts NREM sleep, no matter. Lack of NREM sleep disrupts memory formation. Notably, the hippocampus is not affected by amyloid plaques, presenting a conundrum to scientists on why memory is disrupted in Alzheimer's. Lack of NREM sleep disrupts the glymphatic cleanup system, during which glia shrink less than half their normal size, and amyloid plaques are cleared out more readily. It's easy to see how a vicious cycle can occur. Frontal lobe degeneration disrupts NREM sleep, which causes further frontal lobe degeneration. Encouraging NREM sleep, e.g. through brain stimulation, might be therapeutic for Alzheimer's, and it could be prophylactic the same way statins are. Sleepless precedes Alzheimer's by several years, suggesting this could be diagnostic. Yeah, quite interesting, because I didn't understand everything. No, quite. It was quite an interesting thing, I guess, even though I did just notice, to the end of all the episodes about this quiet book, I seem to get a little bit faster, seem to get a little bit more impatient, and so on and so on. And I still always forget to have my fun, unfortunately. But yeah, I hope you get the best health, wealth, happiness, and success. I wish you the best. Please don't forget about thinking your legacy and about giving back to the people and how you're going to be remembered. And with that being said, hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you hopefully today. I see you.